Hello everyone and welcome back to Cute Crochet. My name is Sri and in today's video I am going to show you how to crochet this checkered gingham bag. It's really easy to make, though it might be a bit time consuming because it is a solid pattern. I made my bag pretty big, but you can make it in any size using any colors. My particular color scheme is based on the tablecloth on the Great British Bake Off. For my bag I am going to use white, light blue and dark blue yarn. You can use any three colors for this, but I think a gradient looks best. These are all 4-ply yarn, and with it I am going to use a 4mm crochet hook, which is the recommended hook size. So let's get started. Starting with the dark blue yarn, I am going to first make a slip knot. To do that, wrap your yarn on your finger twice like so. Then pull the first loop over the second one and the second one up and off your finger. Insert your hook into that loop and pull tight, and that's our slip knot. Then we're going to chain 90. To chain, simply yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Again, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Repeat this again and again 90 times. Here I have finished making 90 chains. Among these, the middle 66 chains that I have marked here is going to be the width of the bag, and the 12 chains on either side is going to be the depth of the bag. You can adjust the length of the chain accordingly if you need to. Just keep in mind the middle number of chains should be a multiple of 6. Next, for row 1, start by making chain 2. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Then we are going to start making double crochets into the chain. For that, flip the chain over. We are going to work into the back loops of the chain, these bumps right here. We do this to get a nice finished edge. So to make a double crochet, yarn over, then skip the first 2 chains and go into the back loop of the third chain. Pull up a loop. You will have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Then again yarn over and pull through the remaining 2. That's our first double crochet, and these first chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Then for the next double crochet, again yarn over, go into the back loop of the next chain and pull up a loop. You will again have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Continue to make double crochets like this, 1 in each chain, 90 in total. I am going to finish this and meet back up with you. Here I am making a double crochet in the last chain. I have 90 double crochets in total, and this brings us to the end of row 1. For row 2, turn your work without chaining. Into that first stitch we are going to make 2 single crochets, one on top of the other. So go into the stitch and pull up a loop. You will have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. That's our first single crochet. Now the single crochet has a back loop and a front loop. Go in through the front loop only and pull up a loop. Again 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. This special stitch helps keep the sides nice and straight. This will bring us up to the height of the other double crochets and act as the first double crochet. Then make double crochets into the next 10 stitches. Here I have essentially made 11 double crochets including that first special stitch. Now on the 12th stitch we are going to change colors. For that, start the stitch like you normally would. Yarn over, go into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2. With 2 loops remaining on your hook, do not complete the stitch. Instead bring in the next color, which is light blue in my case. Drape it on your crochet hook like so, and then pull it through the next two loops. That will change the colors nicely. Bring both the short light blue tail and the dark blue tail to the back. If your last stitch is becoming a bit too loose, you can pull on the corresponding yarn to tighten it. Now we are going to drop these two tails, pick up the light blue yarn and start working with it, and we are going to work over these two tails along the back as we go. Now make double crochets into the next 5 stitches. On the 6th stitch, we are going to change colors. So start the stitch like you normally would. When you have 2 loops remaining on your hook, drop the light blue yarn, pick up the dark blue and yarn over with it. Now our color is changed. Pull on the light blue slightly to tighten that last stitch, and then we are going to continue working with the dark blue yarn. Make sure to carry the light blue tail towards the back and work 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches, and we are going to change colors back to light blue on the last stitch. Now we are on the 6th stitch, so back to light blue. Again make 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches using the light blue yarn, carrying the dark blue yarn as we go. And of course we are going to change colors on the 6th stitch. So we are alternating between 6 double crochets of each color, and we are carrying the tail as we go. I am going to continue repeating this until I have 12 stitches remaining on this row, and then I am going to meet back up with you. Here I am changing colors to dark blue for the last time, and I have 12 stitches remaining. I am going to finish these 12 stitches with the dark blue, and I am going to keep carrying that light blue tail as I go. Here I am at the end of row 2. Here we have 6 light blue blocks and 5 dark blue blocks, each of 6 double crochets, and the 12 double crochets on either side. These 11 blocks is going to be the width of the bag. For row 3, turn your work without chaining, and of course we are going to work over this tail as we go. This is the front side of our work and this is the back side. I always try to carry the yarn towards the back of the work. That way the yarn is barely ever visible in the front, if at all. Now in that first stitch I am going to make my special turning stitch, which is 2 single crochets, one on top of the other. Then make double crochets into the next 10 stitches, working over the tail as we go. Now at the 12th stitch, we are going to change colors to light blue. Make sure to bring that dark blue yarn tail to the back before starting working over it. Now with the light blue yarn, make 1 double crochet in each of the 6 light blue double crochets of the previous row. On the 6th stitch, we are going to change the color back to dark blue. Again, make sure to bring that other yarn tail to the back before working over it. Next, with the dark blue yarn, I am going to make double crochets on the next 6 stitches, so the dark blue stitches of the previous row. On the 6th stitch, we are again going to change colors back to light blue. Then make double crochets with the light blue yarn on top of the next 6 light blue stitches. Again, on the 6th stitch, change the color back to dark blue. So basically, we are doing light blue stitches on top of light blue and dark blue stitches on top of dark blue. Complete the entire row like this. Then row 4 is going to be the exact same thing as row 3. I am going to finish these 2 rows and meet back up with you. Here I finished making up to row 4. Let's consider this as our first stripe, rows 2, 3 and 4. Then for row 5, again turn your work without chaining. This is again the back side of the work, so carry the yarn tail accordingly. Again we are going to make 12 double crochets into the first 12 stitches. Now I am at the 12th stitch, so I am going to change colors. But in this case, I am going to change it to my third color, which is white. Bring in your third color, drape it over your crochet hook like so and pull it through, and that will change the color of your yarn. Bring all 3 tails to the front of your work and we are going to work over them. It might be a bit challenging. Then with the white, we are going to make double crochets on top of the next 6 stitches, so on top of all of the light blue stitches. Now at the 6th stitch, we are going to change colors to the second color, which is light blue in my case. Don't forget to bring that white tail towards the back of the work and we are going to work over it. If your last stitch is coming a bit loose, you can tug on this tail to tighten it. We are going to carry these 2 tails all the way through the work. Now with the light blue yarn, make double crochets on top of the next 6 stitches, so all of the deep blue stitches. At the 6th stitch, we are going to again change colors to white and I am going to continue repeating the same thing. White stitches on top of light blue and light blue stitches on top of dark blue for this row. Here I am almost at the end of the row. On that last stitch, we are going to change the color to dark blue and then finish the last 12 dark blue stitches with it. Here I am at the end of row 5. Make sure to spread out your stitches a little bit after every row so that the tension doesn't get too tight. Then for row 6, turn your work again without chaining. Since this is the front of our work now, we are going to carry our yarn tails towards the back, and into the first 12 stitches we are going to make double crochets with the dark blue yarn. At the 12th stitch, change the color to white, and then basically the same thing, white stitches on top of white and light blue stitches on top of light blue, and 12 dark blue stitches on either side. We're going to repeat the same thing for row 6 and 7. I'm going to finish this and meet back up with you. Here I finished making up to row 7. Now we have 2 stripes. We are going to repeat these 2 stripes again and again. First stripe, rows 2, 3 and 4. And then the second stripe, rows 5, 6 and 7. We are going to repeat these 6 rows, rows 2 through 7 again and again until we reach the desired height of one side of the bag. I'm going to finish this and meet back up with you. Here I finished making up to the length of the bag that I want. I have made 10 stripes in total, which is 31 rows and 14 inches. Now I am going to stop making these 2 side panels and continue only with the middle panel. Next I am going to make 12 stripes in total. 2 of those stripes right here is going to be for the base of the bag, same width as the side panel, and the rest of the 10 stripes is going to be for the other side of the bag. Here I am almost at the end of the last row of the first side of the bag. I am going to change my color one last time to dark blue. Then I am going to stop working over these 2 tails and finish the rest of the row without them. Here I am at the end of the row. This is the end of the first side of the bag. Now I am going to turn my work again without chaining. Then I am going to slip stitch on top of the first 12 double crochets of the row. This is now the front side of my work. At the last stitch, I am going to drop the dark blue yarn, pick up the light blue yarn and yarn over with it instead. Now continuing working with the light blue yarn, in the next stitch I am going to make 2 single crochets one on top of the other for the first double crochet. Of course, we'll have to continue working over the remaining 2 tails as we go. Then it's basically the same thing that we have been doing. I will finish this row and meet back up with you. Here I am at the last stitch. Now we are not going to continue the side panel, so there is no need to change colors. I am going to simply finish that stitch. Then again turn your work without chaining. This is now the back side of my work, so I am going to carry the tails accordingly. Then in that first stitch, make 2 single crochets one on top of the other, same as before. Then I am going to continue the rest of the row like I normally would. I am going to make 12 stripes like this, so 36 rows in total. I am going to finish this entire piece and meet back up with you. Here I finished making 12 stripes. This is the back of our work. Now on that last stitch I am going to change colors to my dark blue yarn. Then turn your work for the last row, and we are still going to be carrying the tails. Into the first stitch, make the special turning stitch. Then for the last row, we are going to make double crochets with the dark blue yarn into each stitch all the way across. Here I am at the end of the row, so chain 1 and fasten off, leaving a long enough tail for sewing. As for the other two tails, they have been sufficiently woven in, so you can go ahead and cut them off. This is what your piece should end up looking like. The next step is sewing up the sides of the bag, so fold the entire piece in half. For sewing, we are going to use the yarn tail we left and the yarn needle. We are going to fold over the side panel and then sew along the edge, matching up the rows. In the end, there will be 2 more stripes remaining, which will be sewn for the bottom of the bag. Here I am at the base of the bag. For this, we are going to sew through all of the 12 stitches. In the end, tie a knot with your yarn and then weave in the yarn tail. It should look something like this on the other side, very neat and clean. To sew the other side, we have to add a piece of yarn. Then we are going to sew up the side in the same way as before. Here I finished sewing both sides of the bag. When you flip it inside out, it should look something like this. Next up, I am going to make the straps for the bag. For the straps, I am going to use dark blue. Leave off a little bit of a tail at first for sewing and then make a slip knot. Then make a chain as long as you want your straps to be. Here I made around 100 chains. Then in the end, make one more chain. This is the turning chain and does not count as a stitch. Then flip your chain over, similar to how we started our bag, and then we are going to work into the back loops of our chain, making single crochets into each stitch all the way across. Here I am at the end of the row. For row 2, chain 1 and turn your work. Then we are going to make single crochets into each stitch all the way across. Here I am going to make 4 rows in total for my strap. If you want thicker straps, you can make even more rows. Here I finished making my 4 rows. Now I am going to chain 1 and fasten off, again leaving a long enough tail for sewing on the strap. Your strap will end up looking something like this, and of course you will need to make 2 of these pieces. The last step is sewing the straps to the bag. There are 11 blocks here and we are going to line up the straps with the middle 5. I am going to place my strap on the inside like so and then sew around the edge with the yarn tail. In the end, tie a knot and then weave in the yarn tail. It should look nice and neat like this from the front. Now I am going to repeat this for the other end of the strap as well as the second strap on the other side of the bag. It should end up looking something like this on both sides. I hope you guys like this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.